And like I said in part one, they want me to have a roller coaster of thoughts in order to have like think negatively or then positively about myself. And it's just that's something they've been doing a lot. This was just a pure example, and I really noticed it. But sometimes it's more subtle than this. Sometimes it's a little more subtle where the thoughts could come more naturally, or something that I could maybe think this way, but this was just too like forced. Like it just felt like I would have noticed it, right? And I even kind of looked at the other months, and it's like for some reason it captured it differently. So they obviously have these ways of manipulating a process, and your way you and with time I realize it's because I'm working and use my brain, and I noticed that the more I use my brain in this analytical way, they are learning how to manipulate me even more in a more subtle way. Now this is not the most subtle, but once this happened, I'm like, oh wow, like I can truly see that. Not okay. uh, it was just surprising that when I go back, it's like, why would I even think like that? Because I went back and looked at the numbers, and my brain convinced me that it makes sense when it didn't make sense. Then I went again because it's just something's just really off. Like it's just something just not. It just makes no sense. It couldn't be that. Like it just let me go back. But my brain already they would like to make me think of this way. I was already doing the math before that, and it's like, okay, the reason why they were doing this, like I said, is to try to make this person look better and make me look bad. Because I was like, if they're spending so much more than us, why are you focusing? And the reason why they would try to make me think this way is because they wanted me to start like doubting myself. I don't have doubt. I know they manipulate me to think this way. Because I went back and I was like, that's the things they do. Because they create their own battles to create their own fantasy of reality. This is exactly what's happening to my brain. For example, when they make me think in certain ways, that's the same thing. So if I don't just calmly just rethink what just happened to my brain or just reanalyze something, I can go with this the way it was influenced. I'm sure if I didn't even look back, I would probably talk about it. It's like, yeah, there was this and that before. But I was like, it's just too crazy. It's impossible that we spend so much less than them, or they spend so much more than us. And that's because they're trying to make me think in these ways for the purpose of just make me look at this person in different ways or try to make her look better. Because this is not just a person that will provide reports to, but it's a person that is involved in my targeting. And they want to make her appear more logical, because currently it looks like what it is, that she's involved in this program to torment me. And they use the psyop of like this feminism, which is disturbing. Because the reality is this program is torturing women and children. So they start to make me think about her in these ways. And they like create battles where they call themselves winners, but the reality is they're the one who make me think this way so they can be like winners. This is how they do their things. And my brain, like I said, my skull is looking. I was looking at my before part two. I was looking at it again. It's just like it just feels like there's like this like front end is just like getting bigger. It's just like I have my brain here, and then from there it goes again. And I know it has to do with when they do with my brain. Because I notice when they make me think and processing, especially when they do the disturbing pedophilia things, or they manipulate my memories, I can feel my brain fighting that because I just don't want to experience these things. And if somehow my brain is fighting, but obviously it goes in one way or another. And my brain, I think, I don't know if it inflates the brain. I don't know if it is giving me tumors in my brain. I don't know, but my skull is truly being impacted, which now shows the physiology aspect of how they manipulate me. You know, when you don't see any scar, you don't see anything, but you start seeing things now, you're like, okay, that's more validation that something's happening to me. This is my skull is not looking the same. I know they were doing things to me, but you couldn't see anything. Which is kind of like when you see something like a cut or something like that, that gives you validation that they're doing something to me. And at one point they will have that, but when they do to the brain, he's like, no, something's happening. But now when I see my skull this way, it's like, yes, they're doing something. Not only they make me think these disturbing ways and things and manipulate the thoughts the way you want, the way you see it, the way I've talked about, but I'm seeing the effect of the manipulation they do to me on my skull. My brain looks weird. It looks like something is just like bumpy, and And especially when when you shave all your hair, you see like the weird bumps and things that's happening to you, to your skull, indicating that something is happening to your brain for your skull to shape this way. It's like my brain reshaping my skull because something is happening to my brain. And when I see this, I'm like, Jesus. And this is nothing. If I pull this thing back, you'll see like things I didn't have. I never had a small head, but man, it's just like weird things, and I know it's my brain being messed with. And they do these things, and they implant things, and it's impacting my brain, and they influence my thoughts, and to do this, and it's somehow doing something to my brain. Something is happening, and I heard. I'm not sure if it's true. Like this is going to be pure speculative, but I heard Robin Duncan say when they rewire your brain, something else changes. They've been rewiring me to experience these nasty things. It's at a price of something. When you rewire something, something else gives up. And I don't know if that's what's happening, because they did a lot of rewiring, but my skull is no longer looking the same. Now, going back to what I was saying about how they make you think in certain ways to influence you to think in certain ways to create these battles, and then make you look bad or try to make you think to think of yourself in a negative way, is a way to just kind of break you down. But me at this point, I talk about it and show how the pattern is. They are influencing you to think the wrong way in order to later on find out that you were wrong to think this way, but they were the one making you think these ways. And this is what I'm saying. Like, for example, that report, and this for me is a lot about work. They do that all the time. I have to like calm down. Okay, something's happening to me. Last time was like a percentage thing they were doing to me, and it was like it was too good to be true. And then I realized that okay, that was super obvious too, but this was more obvious. But at the same time, it was surprising that even when I went back and tried to look at things, it still like made me believe this thing. Even though I went back, I had to go to a third time, and then realizing, okay, I saw the word cumulative, and it's like, what? How did I end up thinking like that? It's because they manipulate my brain. I'm not perfect. Listen, I've thought the wrong way about things many times, but this is just too forced. It's just like, it's just being pushed these ways, and they do that all the time. Now, like I said, these people are losers, and I'm not saying they're losers in the sense that the results are not going to happen. It means that these people are creating their own success in my brain, meaning that they create their own storylines and their own little narratives to then be like, you see, you're wrong. No, you make me think wrong so you can feel like you're right. But what it does to me is like, this is another testimonial to address what they do for me, and it's a pattern. I'll continuously track all the patterns of the manipulations. They make you they influence you to think in certain ways to later on find out it's not right, to make you feel doubtful. They do that all the time. It's not even just like analyzing, even like you read an email, you're reading wrong the first time, and they try to make you angry, and they're like, relax. What did I just read? Okay, they will try to make me process it this way because they wanted me to think this way, and then finding out the way. That's what they do. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Understand that they're gonna try their best to make you feel doubtful, and they use tactics of all sorts. Me, I'm seeing that happening, and I address that, and this is what they do. I see the result of what they've done to my brain, the way of thinking, how it has impacted me. That's what they do. And I understand they're gonna torture me to the point of accepting this manipulation. It will never be subscriptive. I'll never subscribe to it. I will continuously talk about what they do to me. And even if you have, it's crazy. They try to use everything against you. If you have doubts because you're not sure, it's like, oh, let me double check if this seem. Oh, you see, you weren't sure. Oh, you thought maybe it was. Yes, until I go check and see the numbers. That's proof. Like any ways they can try to make you feel doubtful, and they feel like they're winners, right? They use these childlike individuals who very much like childlike people, who will do their best to try to make you subscribe to this thing, but it's so cowardly and childlike. And they're like, oh, we win. I was like, Shirash, you're a loser. I know you're playing my brain. I know that they hire people who have no shame to humiliate themselves. and use anything as a success, because to them, life is, they're now real winners. I mean, they don't know actual success, so they take anything as a success, even any random things. And at first I was like, oh, they're trying to make it now just competitor. They're not competitors. No real competitors. This is sad. It's pathetic. It's like we can make him think anyway, and then we won. Sad. That's not competitor. It's like It's like playing video games with somebody who has no control of the other person. They're just losers who've enjoyed this feeling of being a winners, and they love it. It's like, you love it because it's basically, there's nothing I can do as a target individual. You're gonna try to make me subscriptive of this nastiness and use anything from your manipulation to even random things. Oh, you thought these numbers were gonna be higher than this number. You see, that's proof you're wrong. We are. And my brain being so illogical, they'll start making me think, it's like, you see, if you're wrong there, that means that this things is you. We mapped it. And this childlike people is like, oh, we're gonna win. It's like, you see how my brain just went? Of course. It's pathetic almost. Traumatic individuals do not subscribe to these things. Regardless of what's gonna happen to me, I've seen some trash trying to make me subscribe to this thing. I will humiliate them to my last breath, and then I'll be screaming and dying. But my purpose is to never let them escape the reality of what they're part of. I know it's tiresome. But I also understand there's a lot of other target individuals that deal with different kind of mind games and things to push them to accept a falsified reality. Do not subscribe to who they want you to be. They're going to use everything possible. They're going to try to dumb you down. They're going to try to manipulate everything. Your logic, your rationality is being erased, and they start making you think in these illogical ways. That's what they can make you influence to see things this ways. They are trash who are trying to change you and repattern you in different ways, and are using the most illogical ways, because your brain at this point is fried up, and they're replacing your processing and your thoughts in different ways. This is why I make these videos, because I know this is going to continuously happen. So stay strong, and to all my target individuals watching this, know yourself. They'll do a lot to try to break you and make you acceptive of this falsified reality. They talk about they mind it now, they mind it. We're not minding all kind of stupidity. Target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done for the foulness they do to you, and the godlike fantasy they put themselves in their mind. Understand that, and know that as much as they know everything that's going to happen to you, everything's orchestrated, they have no idea what's going to happen to you, to them. Right? They made me say this thing. You see, they're gods, but they don't know anything about what's going to happen to them. Stay strong and know that justice will be done for the foulness they do to people, including you.